Tell us
Angela. Oh, sorry. Yes, Angela, let the guests know if they're going to need anything, any water, pencil, paper, an open mind. Let
Yes.
them.
Good morning, guys. So if you are joining me this morning, if you're listening on your way to work, if you're listening as you're drinking your tea, whatever it is, if you are present in front of the computer and ready to rock, no matter where you are,
morning.
I ask you just bring your presence, your mind, your ear, your voice if you can, and your face, and that'll be amazing. Just bring your bodies, your able ears, and your minds. Today we are going to talk about decoding some ideas, some memories, some experiences around our education, our personal education, and about the educational system in general, and the effects it has on the upcoming youth. And you all have no idea how deeply impactful this subject is for me. So I'm really excited to have this conversation with you all this morning. And
peace and blessings.
Good morning.
Grand Rising.
Yeah, so there are new arrivals.
So I guess I can share.
Oh, you could just, we're not ready yet, so you can just keep introduce the intro.
Right. Okay. So I'll tell you all about me. My name's Angela Bell. I founded a company called Math Through Art. Fusing the two has just been a part of my soul. It's a way for me to ground both worlds, and it's a channel for me to be able to communicate a language like math to 6-year-olds, or even 18-year-olds who were taking, algebra, or they're taking calculus. It's like art is like a channel. So a way for me to be able to connect the worlds and allow students to see math through other ways. And so I'm so excited to be with you all here today, so we can talk a little bit about me and about you all.
Wake up, everybody. It's time to get up. Wake up, everybody. It's time to get up. Stay woke. Stay woke. Stay woke. It's time to get up. Stay woke. Stay woke. Stay woke. It's time to get up. We're healing, we're dealing, we're growing. Together, releasing. We're teaching, we're moving. Together, we're learning, discerning. We're striving. Together, we're leading, connecting, transforming. Together.
morning. Good morning to all of my folks that are here on Facebook. Thank you for joining us. And thank you to all of the people who are present, joining me now, connecting their audio. Thank you so much for being present here with me in Zoom space. It's amazing. Okay. So this morning, good morning, Amani. I was looking at the intro. I've done this. Hello, good morning. My name's Angela Bell. And I'm just going to reintroduce myself. I'm here. We're going to be talking about education today in different ways. A little bit about me. I learned a little bit about you all. And this will be a nice exchange this morning if you are present with your ears and your minds and your bodies and you're able to participate and engage in whatever way, whatever energy you decide to share and give to the community is welcome and appreciated. This morning I was looking at the intro and I thought about, you know, those words that we see in the intro. And it said, the last phrase of the intro song said, transforming together, right? We are transforming together as a community. And I thought that was interesting because it really ties into what I wanted to talk to you all about today, which is like decoding our own psychological connection to our own personal educational journey and the education of our youth in whatever way that you are connected to that. So this morning I wanted to start out with a question. And it may be triggering, it depends on your situation, but nonetheless, everything is welcome. Grand Rising. I'll tell you a story really quickly. Okay, yes, let's just, let me see. So the question is, and it's in the chat. What experiences have you had during your adolescence that affected your receptivity to learning, whether it be in positive or a negative way? Let me rephrase that. Take a moment to just think back to maybe a grade that was significant, whether it be third grade because you started taking exams, or maybe it was kindergarten, it was your first time entering into a classroom.
Angela?
Or maybe you were in school. Yes.
Yes. Immediately, I have a story to share.
Yes.
As a student, when I was in elementary school, I did fairly well. Like if you gave it a grade, I was a B student. If you put a number on it, I was like 80, 85 range consistently. And every time my mother came to parent teacher conference, besides them telling my mother like what a lovely presence I was in the classroom and everything like that, they kept saying if she just applied herself more, if she applied herself more. And to me, what I felt I was doing was applying myself. And I would do well in school, in the daily classroom discussions and everything like that. But as soon as test time came, I would hear the teacher's voice in my head saying, if she just applied herself, she'd do so much better. She'd apply herself. And I would end up crashing each and every time during an exam. Just know the information and my whole body would shut down. It would start with a headache and my eyes tearing, my body shaking. So this was from elementary school through, I would say, 9th, early 10th grade. Finally, my aunt invests and she takes me to a tutoring center. It's called Sylvan Learning Center. And when I explained to the administrators what was happening, they said, first and foremost, sweetie, you have one of the most severe cases of test anxiety we've ever heard of, that your body shuts down. Like I fell asleep during my SATs because I just couldn't, I put my head on the desk and went to sleep. So what I learned from that experience was that those teachers putting into my head and my mother's head that I wasn't applying myself, that when it came time down for me to be tested on my applications, I blocked my own self. So after that, it was like, you know what, I developed this attitude when it came down to testing. I wasn't going to cram for a test. I wasn't going to read notes before a test. When I walked in, I was walking in with my brain and whatever I needed to write with, because whatever was in my head, that was it. And so I developed this saying that I sent all of my kids out the house with: let your hand write what your brain knows. That's it. And that's what I put into the children. Instead of, oh, you got to apply yourself. Nope, just let your hand write what your head knows. I'm complete.
Wow, Tiffany, thank you so much for sharing. I really love that you took us through the journey of your interactions throughout your childhood when it came to your experiences with the authority in your childhood, right? Like the authority when it demands a specific structure that doesn't necessarily accommodate everyone. You start to feel like there's something wrong with you because you can't fit and mold into the structure in which things are orchestrated. I had a student, his name was Amethyst, and he was autistic. And I loved him. I loved working with him. I had to teach him math. And he would have accidents and everything, you guys. Like he would have, he would go to number 2 right there, just sitting there with you. But he was brilliant. I found he pushed me. He pushed my limits. He pushed my parameters. He pushed how far can I expand my thinking on something as simple as just 4 + 4 or a repetitive repeating of numbers, like a pattern of numbers. How much can I see? How far can I find creativity in this to connect it and share it to this student who everyone already deemed as unworthy and incapable, right? Like, how can I expand myself? And I guess that's what I want to say to you, Tiffany. That's what it is. The authority didn't want to expand its parameters. For someone that spoke a different language, connected understanding and education, learned education through a different lens. So we have to we have to push ourselves to find a way to connect your way of learning, your language of learning. Yeah. Oh, that was emotional for me. I don't know why. Yes.
Okay, so you could breathe for a moment. Do you want to invite another voice into this space, or do you want to move on to your next question?
If there's anyone else that has a story or an experience that they'd like to share, that'd be amazing.
Let's see. Intuitively, because I don't see any hands raised, can I please invite Jacqueline to come off mute and share any experience you might have had during your adolescence that affected your learning and how you receive information?
Good morning.
Thank you,
Good
Jacqueline.
morning.
Yeah, I can't say that I've had any really negative experiences, except maybe one in 3rd grade. And it didn't actually affect my learning, but it did affect my communication within the classroom and my ability to open up. I got shut down by a 3rd grade teacher when I was in Catholic school. She was a lay teacher. I even remember her name. I remember the situation and the circumstance. And it was around the religious part of the instruction. So I had missed my first communion, and I didn't know I was supposed to have first communion because I came from public school. My mother put me into Catholic school like in 2nd grade. and most students had their communion in the first grade. And so I didn't feel like I could participate in some of the things that she was talking about because I didn't do my first communion. And I kept mum about it because I felt like, you know, I was ashamed that I didn't do it because I'm supposed to do this because this is what's supposed to be done. And so I didn't say anything. So when it came time to get prepared for the next level, she found out that I didn't have it. And so she told me, oh, you just sat there like a bump on the log. So what did I do for the rest of the year? I became the bump on the log. I refused to speak, and I'm complete.
Thank you for sharing. I'm goodness, Jacqueline, you rushed that last ending, that last part about her calling you a bump on the log. I'm
Yeah,
wondering how that really affected your voice.
Yeah, I was angry about it. And yeah, I think it still does to this day. Like if someone says something that offends me, I shut down and I don't say anything for a while. And I may say something at some point, but I will shut down in the moment. So it causes me to hesitate sometimes to speak. And that's basically it. That's the only thing I can remember that's negative because I loved school. I was one of those students who absolutely loved school. So other than that experience, I can't say that there was anything else that shut me down. I'm an excellent test taker. Sometimes I just don't use my voice. And that's
so.
it.
Thank you, Jacqueline.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So when you first came on, when you first came on and you started answering and giving your response, I immediately heard the confidence in your voice. So I just want to say that if there was anything that still is held there, you know, if there's any attachment to that experience, your voice is thunderous. It's powerful. I heard you clearly. So, yeah, I would say you're victorious in that sense.
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing that. Okay. So I'm happy that we were able to get some shares about just any experiences that people may have had growing up. I'm going to read one from the chat and then I'm going to move forward. Purple, I seen your response in the chat and I thought that was exactly what I was thinking to myself. So Purple wrote in the chat, memories from pre-K, 3rd, 4th, and 7th grade all flooded her mind, right? And it was the same for me, right? I asked myself the same question, like what has there been any experiences that affected my receptivity to learning in any kind of way? And I could tell you a positive experience. I had a teacher. I went to Benjamin Banneker Academy in Brooklyn, New York. And at that time, that school was a public school, but it was mainly all black school, administration, staff, teachers, students in Clinton Hills, Brooklyn. And that school had a really positive effect on my education because I had examples of teachers that, you know, were 27, some were, you know, they were still close enough in my age where I can see my future, my near future. And they were also old enough to impart some wisdom as well. So yeah, I would say that I was blessed specifically by one teacher, and her name was Miss Jeffrey. Wherever Miss Jeffrey is, she had an amazing effect. She taught algebra. No, she taught algebra. She taught algebra and trig. in high school, and I had her, and I remember having having an impact on me because I was like, wow, she really just made this subject cool. Like, she made it relatable. She would tell stories about formulas to help us understand and remember. She did a phenomenal job. She was amazing. She had a positive effect on me and my receptivity to learning. At this time, my voice is shutting down. I'm going to ask you all a question. Oh, it's on my phone.
So while you get the question in order, just want to encourage everyone to think about ways in which your learning has been expanded or impacted, or receptivity has been impacted in ways that have been high vibrational and low vibrational. I heard Jacqueline say she couldn't think of a negative fully other than the story she told about confirmation, but Angela asked that we think of both, either or, like one or the other. And now, do you have the other question, Angela?
Yes.
Yeah, and I know there's a slight delay in receptivity in the reception, so y'all bear with us because sometimes the Zoom connection isn't strong. So Angela, I hear you hearing people in a delayed way, and then also there's a little bit of delay when you share. So just be mindful of that. That folks may not hear you clearly, or it may be a delayed response to what you're saying because of the connection on Zoom. All right, so we're ready whenever you are.
Okay. So my next, it's more of an active question, I'll say. So I need your minds to be active and awake for this question, because I want you to kind of think outside the box. It's something that requires a bit creativity, some creativity. So my next question is, what daily practices are you doing, positive and or negative ways? So your daily practices, right? So I'll give you an example of a daily practice that, or if it's not daily, it's frequent enough. Me being present here on Woo, me being present, me listening in to a session, me even watching in and on a session, sitting down and being able to be present and watch, is a frequent practice that is positive that I perform toward my receptivity to learning, right? Woo allows me to feel safe in whatever capacity of learning that I am, whatever level of learning that I come with, whatever knowledge base that I come with based on the speaker or who it is that it's facilitating. And I'm still able to learn. I still walk away. I always present with Woo. So this is a frequent practice for me. So that's an example. So I want you all to think of ways, something that you do every day. You may not even, you may not even be mindful of it. Something as simple as like tracking your steps, tracking your diet for the day. Something very simple. Something as simple as using your phone, like an app on your phone, and plugging in, what did I eat today? How many calories? How far did I walk? Praying. Do you want to tell me a little bit more about that? So Sakaya in the chat wrote, praying. Praying is a daily practice.
Yeah. Both what I call formal praying. Being Muslim, there's 5 prayers we're supposed to do every day. And I don't do them all every day. I do my best. I don't always succeed. But I'm praying literally almost all day long. My conversations with my creator are a prayer. And I talk to my creator all day long, every day. So, yeah.
That's amazing. What I'm getting from you is that your communication with God opens you up to learning. Like even the fact that you go to God to communicate is your way of saying to God, I'm willing to learn today. Whatever information you have for me today, in whatever way that you can communicate that to me, I'm ready and receptive and willing to learn further for the day. Is that what I'm?
Absolutely.
Yes, that's an amazing prayer. That is a very, very simple yet profound way, daily practice that allows someone to be receptive and open to learning. That's beautiful, brilliant. I just want to acknowledge we have at Abimbola. I hope I'm saying that right. Abimbola. Your daughter taught biology at Banneker, so that's amazing. So we have some Banneker community here in the chat. I also wanted to acknowledge Stephanie, what you were sharing in the chat. Would you mind coming off of mute and sharing with the rest of the community a little further about it?
No problem, Angela.
Thank you.
To tag along with what I was saying about what the teacher said about applying myself and how that impacted me. I have two teachers from middle school and high school that stick out to me. So there was Miss Bell, who was my history teacher, and my dance teacher, Mrs. Stair. And the reason that they're still with me to this day is because of the way that they taught. And so they only spoke the positive. When my mom came, it was never the whole, if she just applies herself. What they always did was just highlight and shine on what my growth was from the last time that they had a meeting. Or if it was a first meeting, it was, it was just always glowing. There was no, but if she just, it was, this is who she is, and let's celebrate that. And then something that I do daily now is I have daily conversations with myself. Like I look at what it is I need to hear today, what message I need to speak to myself today. And then I make daily posts on my social media pages. And I just use the tagline, Phoenix Speaks. Phoenix is a nickname that I go by. And so I feel like if I needed to hear that message today, then somebody else would have needed to hear it too. So whatever words of encouragement I give myself in the morning, I share them with everybody who follows me on social media. I'm complete.
Thank you, Tiffany. That's interesting. Your teacher's name is Miss Bell.
I'm sorry, my daughter's getting ready to leave for summer camp, and she's
okay.
asking me for money. Can you repeat your question?
I didn't have a question. I was just replying back. You said you're a middle teacher, your middle
school dance teacher.
Mm-hmm. Yes, Miss Bell. So I'm Miss Bell now. So that gave me some spark and inspiration. I love your share. And as you were sharing, I also was reading in the chat, and I was noticing Purple share. I don't know if Purple you'd like to share, and then maybe Jacqueline.
Yes. Hey, good morning, family. Good morning, Miss Bell.
Good morning.
I thank you, Shawnee, for what you said, because I wanted to pull up more affirming and receptive educational experiences. I was that kid that didn't like school since first grade, wanted to hurry up and get out, and never wanted to go back. And so I wrote my daily practices to read and write, because I really had a horrible anxiety that affected my reading, especially reading out loud. And what that looked like was I was learning the pattern of how teachers were calling on students, so I could try to go ahead in the book, read it at least once before she called on me. So I was missing what was read and struggling when it was my time. And I sound like I couldn't read when I read out loud. That's how the anxiety got me. So every day I make sure I read something. I carry a book with me. And when it comes to writing because of a negative experience I had with writing, like literally having my paper erased, being told I had to write it again. And then when I wrote it again, they were like, your paper looks nasty, you have to write it again. So I had to stay up to like 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning in 3rd grade. And so I created this aversion to writing and thinking I wasn't a good writer. I had a lot of anxiety around writing. And so I realized that something as simple with a gratitude list is pen to page for me. So I have not been a journaler, but at times I will write more. And I know it really does help me when I do journal. So I push through. And worst case scenario, always go just write your gratitude list every day. So in addition to it being presencing me to gratitude, which is an amazing feeling tone for me, it is the actual practice of writing. And it's helped. I'm in grad school now and I have to write and I have to read, and I'm actually enjoying the process of being in grad school. And I'm complete.
Purple, thank you so much for coming on and sharing your story, because it seems like there's a pattern here where we're experiencing victories, finding our own creative, special ways in order for us to tackle experiences that may have been traumatic, but were learning lessons for us that we are our own saviors at the end of the day. And even if no matter if I am young and there are those adults that I'm in their care, right, that may not have taken care, I still learn as an adult how to take care of me. So if I had a traumatic experience, I'm now present in secondary higher education or higher educational institution. You know what I mean? I completed basic, secondary, first and secondary education, which is amazing. And I'm here and I'm present and I'm working on my experiences. So all I heard from you, Purple, was victory.
Thank you. I can't forget my babies.
I heard, yes.
I
work
with children. I develop arts education program for children. I think a lot of my stand and my way of cultivating and asking my teaching artists to work with children, in which we're recognized of being a healing centered, social, emotionally affirming. All of that comes from hearing so many experiences, witnessing and remembering the experiences we had in school. And so what could complement an experience for a young person through the arts, discover, reclaim who they are and thrive in an area at school or in learning to help with their confidence and self-esteem. And I do know that sometimes what you struggle with becomes what you do for a career. And so I'm definitely one of those. I just want young people to enjoy their life when they're young. And so because we spend most time in school, I think is really important. And I actually did turn down traditional education position because I realized like, no, my relationship with school, I was like, yo, I should not be teaching what I was invited to teach. And I only wanted to teach what I was passionate about, which was health education. And when that was removed out of the school, and people was like, oh, here, we'll give you a job for science. I was like, I think that's probably the problem with the school system, is that we got a bunch of people teaching what they don't know really well, they don't like kids, they don't like these systems. And then they're projecting onto children. I see that. I'm like, you don't know what you're teaching and you insecure, and then you running and falling all over these kids. So a part of me not being a traditional teacher was recognizing if I'm not going to teach what I know, what I'm passionate about, I don't have no business in there. And my stepmother, Jackie, is an excellent, excellent teacher. So having a model of what exceptional educators look like, I think there's a lane. I think there's a lane that people need to be in and step aside if that's not yours. Thank you. I'm complete.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Purple. So right now it's 7:34, and I would love to hear Jacqueline share, but really quick, I just want to address some things that I heard Purple needed to say. So if those of you who need to log off at this time, I understand. Have an amazing day. Thank you for rocking with us this morning.
Okay, hi.
Go ahead, Jacqueline.
Yeah, I just I was listening to Kia and I mean Purple, and thank you so much. I appreciate that. I wrote in the chat that I'm a very structured person, and I had a routine, and I noticed that my kids came from places that were not structured and were not routine, because I worked in the South Bronx the first 12 years of my career in elementary school. So I always wanted them to feel like the classroom was their home. I wanted them to feel comfortable. I wanted to feel confident. I provide well so that be they
We may have lost Jacqueline. Her audio was breaking up. Jacqueline, if you can put it in the chat, I'll read it for you. That way your message still gets shared in the space. Angela, you can move forward with the next thing. There's a couple of more shares that are coming in the chat. Imani said, thank you for the conversation this morning. Everyone shares affirm what I believe strongly about my role as an educator and continue to push against the status quo. Everyone have a great day. Yeah, so we need more teachers like you, like you and Imani, you know, who are teaching outside of the box instead of sticking to the normal or the structured education, because that hasn't necessarily worked for a very long time.
Thank you.
and I apologize. I was walking, so I got cut off, and I don't know how far you guys heard me, but I hope you heard enough.
No, go ahead and share again. Complete your thought.
Oh, okay. No, I didn't know where I had left off. I just wanted everybody to know that I wanted to create that home feeling for my students when they came in, and I wanted them to have ownership. So I created a routine where they would come in, and I was teaching math at the time, and they had a math problem that was on the board that they had to use manipulatives to complete, and then they would draw pictures and write that down in their notebooks, and then we would share out, and we're all the while listening to Bob James playing in the background. So it was, they were moving to the music as they were doing their little journal writing, and it just really was very helpful. Parents came to me and students years later thanking me for having that kind of structure and providing that type of atmosphere for them. And I'm complete.
Jacqueline, that share took me into your classroom. Okay. It took me at my desk. I could hear the music. That was such a story because it reminds me of the creativity that is within us and how we can use the elements and the resources that are around us in order to connect something like math that, you know, has a stigma of it's difficult, to small children, elementary school children.
Oh yeah, because they got music in their bodies.
amazing.
And if you can tap into that music, then you can tap in.
Yeah.
I can still hear Jamaica Farewell right now while I'm talking to you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'm going to students engaged and attentive. I'm so happy because this is the second time I've come back and I've had this conversation about education, but this time we took it to a route of just our experiences, our own personal experiences, and stayed there. And I thought that was great because it gave us a foundation as to what and how we overcome things and how we're able to contribute those victories back into our communities and carve our careers out of those experiences, which is dynamic and phenomenal. And I feel blessed to be a part of this community and just to hear you all stories. It is inspiring. Thank you, Purple, for sharing. Takia, Tiffany, Jacqueline, like, thank you all for those who participated in the chat as well. I'm going to close us out. If we can get to the closing slides. So I was expressing to you all earlier today. I have a company, it's called Math Through Art. Any youth that you know from grades 1 through 12, they can sit with me for about 45 to 50 minutes. I'm going to do a nice consultation with them so that they can learn how they learn math. And for us to just take a look at their ideas about the subject and the ways in which they can comprehend it. So I'm offering that to you all for free. And if you'd like one, if you know a youth or anyone you want to offer it to, you can. You can just contact me at that Gmail account on the page, which is maththroughart@gmail.com. Does anyone have any questions?
Hey, Angela. So before we started in our pre-session, you had selected participant number 17
Yes.
to win that today. And participant number 17 was Darlene DeFore. So Darlene, can you come off of mute and acknowledge your prize, accept it, or if you're willing to pass it along? Darlene, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Awesome. Are you going to accept Angela's gift today?
I if there's a youth that could use it, does anybody have a youth in their life?
So everyone, it seems like Darlene is willing to share her prize. So the first person, Angela, who emails you by 9:30 can be the person to accept that prize
That's
for you
perfect.
today.
That's perfect.
Awesome. So Darlene's contact email is in the slide, maththroughart@gmail.com. Email her that you are interested in this offer. Amazing.
But thanks for the gift also.
Thank you for sharing, Darlene.
Mhm.
You want to read your contact slide, Angela?
So this is all where you can contact me on Instagram. I'm at maththroughart. My email is maththroughart@gmail.com. And if you want to take a look at a little bit of what I do, you can go to maththroughart.com.
Thank you. All right, so coming up this week, tomorrow, Tuesday, July the 13th, we have facilitator Hattie McCutcheon. Sickness is a choice. What are you choosing? And then on Wednesday, July the 14th, we have Xavier Beckwith back with What and Now What? Here at the Woo Nation, we welcome all newcomers to our community. So if this is one of your first sessions or you are joining us for the first time and on Facebook, please let us know. We want to welcome you to a community where we have come to learn, elevate, and ascend. Welcome all. This is our schedule of daily workshops. We are live on Facebook and in Zoom 5 days a week, Sunday through Thursday. On Sundays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays, we are in space from 7 a.m. to 8:30 a.m. and on Mondays and Wednesdays from 7 to 7:30. If you would like notifications when it is time to join us, please text Woo Nation to 74121. We are still celebrating our 1-year anniversary with the Woo Swag. We still have t-shirts, sweatshirts, face masks, and mugs. New merch to come shortly. So please, if you would like to represent Woo Nation, please shop us at bit.ly/Woo Swag. Thank you, everyone. Here's how you stay in touch with us. You can register at bit.ly/Wake Up Movement. You can find us on Facebook at the bit.ly/Woo Community. on Instagram at Wake Up Everybody Virtual, on YouTube, bit.ly/woo on YouTube. And lastly, you can always email us at info.wakeupseries@gmail.com. At this time, I'm going to invite everyone to please come off of mute. It is time to thank Miss Angela Bell for coming on this morning and sharing with us her knowledge on mathematics education and how it impacts us. Thank you, Angela, so much. It was wonderful having you here this morning.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Angela.
Thank you.
Thank you very
Thank you for your passion. Thank you for
Thank you, Ms. Bell. Have a good
Yes,
one.
yes.
This has
Someday
been
your teacher's kid's gonna say,
inspiring.
Miss Bell impacted my life.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you.
Awesome, awesome.
Yes, makes me want to go back. Thank you.
Thank you.
Have an awesome
Good